understand why you feel that way. I haven't quite gotten there myself.
Give it a week.
Welcome to amorephillyunion, the podcast where we are currently getting a serving of the bitter that we hope will make the sweet that much sweeter. We're your hosts. I'm Paul.
And I'm E.
And we are C-less.
We're C-less.
So,
yeah, C's just taking the night off and doing some recuperating. So, you know, you'll know why if it's not as good of an episode. It's like when we play trivia, it's like, and we don't win. And it's like, oh, is Christy there? No. Okay, I'm just saying. In that case, correlation does mean causation.
Yeah. So, C, we hope you get a good night's rest and back at it next time. So, but we've got some stuff to talk about, and as I said in the intro, nothing very happy from the union in the last week or so.
Yeah, man.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off here.
All I could think of was that clip from, I think it was the third Matrix movie, and like all the humans are holed up down in Zion while Neo's up in the machine world fighting Agent Smith and all that, and there's just like the robots that were attacking Zion had stopped. Anyway, Morpheus just kind of looks and he's kind of got this teary-eyed look in his face, and he's like, I had a dream and now that dream is gone. And it's like that's like, to me, that's the title for this week.
Well, yes.
Well, except that the dream of the trifecta is gone.
No, it's real. I mean, yes, the treble isn't going to happen because let's get into it. The Union lost the last two games. They lost the Open Cup game to Nashville 3-1, and then they got embarrassed out in Vancouver 7-0.
That was bad.
Yes. Yeah, there's just no way around it.
It was
a terrible loss.
I'll put it this way: in our pickup league, when we would lose every single game of the season, we lost by fewer than that on several games, and we were horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the wheel turns. I understand that.
But you are right that the treble is no longer a possibility since the Union are out of the Open Cup, as Nashville did win and moves on. Did you? I was so disgusted after the second loss that I didn't even watch to see or check to see. Do you know who won Minnesota versus Austin?
No, I didn't. I was the same way.
So done with this. I don't care. Just like, wow.
Yeah, I was, well, yeah, so the absolute drubbing in Vancouver, I'm thinking like, all right, well, maybe this is the real bitter medicine that we need, so that when we go into this Open Cup match on Tuesday, we're just going to go in there and remind the world, what kind of team we could be. And then when that went bottoms up or whatever, belly up.
Sam Surge decided to remind everybody that he's the Golden Boot leader at the moment, and there's a reason for it.
Yep.
He's like, hey, I can carry this whole team on my shoulders, score a hat trick, and then you can't keep up.
He's like I don't know. It's this generation's Zlatan. I don't know. It's just... But anyway, yeah, we are speaking in generalities. Hopefully I gave you enough time, Paul, to look up who won the Austin.
It'll be Nashville at Austin for the Open Cup final, whenever that is.
Wow, kind of like two music cities going at it.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. I mean, arguably too. I mean, it is a clash of cuisine. I mean, they're not necessarily like.
You got Texas barbecue versus Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean.
Barbecue.
Well, it's like the what's the name of the St. Louis, Kansas City
No, either
Derby.
What the heck
what was it? What was it? Because I remember Jim.
Barbecue.
The barbecue. Yeah. So this is going to be
got to be somehow or another related to like country music or something.
I mean, there's the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. I guess that's a thing that they're famous for. So I'm trying to think what's the equivalent like.
I don't know
Um,
that Austin has an equivalent sandwich, but Austin has Sixth Street, which is like their big bar, live
mhm.
music thing. So it's like maybe it's like South by Southeast, since it's Nashville is in the east or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
We'll have to play around with some ideas.
yeah.
But let's
I
get
mean,
to the games. Let's
yeah, that's
talk
just
about the
too. I
frustration.
know.
Maybe
Like, obviously, I don't
I
want to.
honestly feel like maybe we should skip these games, and just kind of talk like 2 or 3 points about each,
Yeah,
about what we
let's just
remember.
like you're talking about earlier, but Nate and his band-aids. Let's just pull them off fast and let's
Exactly.
get on with it.
All right. Vancouver game. It was very clear that Carnell did not play the starters at the
Yeah,
beginning of this game. It was clear that the idea was he was going to get the secondary players a little more run time in this game. Definitely did make some subs along the way to get some work on the legs, try to freshen them up for Tuesday. But I don't. He wasn't playing to lose. He wasn't totally packing it in.
no, I think he
But
was. I think he was trying to. Conservative isn't the right word. I think he was trying to be as conservationist as he can be. Right? He's trying to.
right,
He's trying to ride the gas as lightly as he could,
he was prepping for Tuesday.
prepping for Tuesday.
No injuries, getting a little bit of work on the legs so that they're ready to go, and hope for the best. And then the
So,
wheels fell off, and
and it just turned
things
it.
went. I'll be honest. I don't even. After a certain point, I stopped watching. I think I watched until it was like 5-0, and then I was like, I'm done. There's just no point in
Yeah, it
watching
was
this
just.
game anymore. It was just terrible. Um,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah. I
let's
Go
just
ahead.
walk through it. By the time it was at halftime, it was 4-0. Mueller had
Yeah.
already scored two PKs. Um, I'm looking at a recap here. Laborda had scored in the 18th. Sabi had scored in the 24th. Mueller scored a PK in the 29th and another
Yeah.
one first half stoppage time. Um, yeah.
It's funny. So one thing I guess we'll talk about over both these games is Rick is in net. And as much as we, you know, have grown in our confidence with Rick in net, I don't think he deserves to be totally just, you know, I don't want to say blame. Like when okay, let me try this again. This 7-0 just shellacking. But you still look, I mean, Rick made like three or so saves. This game could have been 10-0. Like it was that bad. And so maybe this is worth talking about. Like we put out that little survey after the game. We put this out on Sunday. Um, and the first round of questions we asked was um about the 7-0 loss. Like, so what are we thinking? And one option was it's just one game. We'll move forward. Are the cracks beginning to show? Battle stations, we have work to do. Or the fourth option is go birds. So yeah, kudos to Christy for putting this together. Um, it's worth noting. I mean, after the 7-0 loss to Vancouver, over 61% of our respondents were saying it's just one game. But
Which I would have been there with them.
yeah, I was like, you can have a bad day, and this was our bad day.
And
Because
that's what even Carnell said in the post game press conference. He's like,
yeah,
we had a bad day,
yeah,
and it was a bad day. And the result is not his fault, but
hmm
the on Alejandro Bedoya did not exactly cover himself in glory there in
hmm
that right back position, because there were a number of changes in the lineups,
yeah,
and one of them was he got to play right back, and he's played right back
he's done
in a
that.
game
Yeah,
earlier this season, and he
yeah,
did fairly well.
yeah,
This game, I don't know if it was the matchup. I don't know if Nashville just came at it with a better game plan to deal with him in right back, but it was like an island out there, and Glesnes had to keep pulling out to that side to try to
yeah,
help Ali
yeah,
out a lot more than anybody expected. Kudos to Ali for his post afterwards, basically saying, "Hey, I acknowledge it. I wasn't up to speed
Yeah,
today. It wasn't a good game for me. We're going to keep looking for ways to move forward. And
yeah,
it was a very positive post on
yeah,
his socials. It was absolutely, I 100% believe it was heartfelt and honest, and he means it. But yeah, it was tough to see Ali get roasted. Like
yeah. I remember looking at the stats at the end of the game, and one of the stats that Apple puts up now is like the kind of those long arrows, four arrows representing like their
far right.
the avenues of attack.
Yeah,
And you
whether
look at
they're
Nashville,
attacking all down the right side, the right central, the left central, or
yep.
the far left.
And Nashville, I was just like, yeah, usually it's kind of, maybe it's spread around a little bit. Nashville was like overwhelming. They were attacking down on their left side, which
Yeah.
is where Allie was there on the right side. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
It's
the
tough to watch.
the other thing too, the second survey we put up with regard to this game was so okay. We gave a couple options like, so what would happen, right? Was it our defense? Was it the offense? Was it lineup and strategy, or was it that Vancouver was just that good? And the overwhelming vote, was 65% was it was lineup and strategy issues. Um, the second one, though, I think was 22% was that we had too many holes in our defense. I think there's truth to all of it. I don't know. I mean, part of it was Vancouver. Those first few goals, I think was it even the first goal was absolute beaut. I mean, the cross or the quick pass from the left corner, and I don't even remember who scored, but the guy just came flying in, just absolutely at a full sprint, and just slammed it into the back of the net. I mean, for something like that, there's no way unless you are the keeper in the line of fire of that shot, you just can't stop that. Um, I don't know. It was kind of all of it, right?
Yeah, and just to talk real quick lineup, we already mentioned Ali getting a run at right back. Um, Macania apparently is serving at least a 2-game suspension because of his red card
mm,
and yellow card accumulations and
I
stuff.
mean, he was back for the Nashville game, though, wasn't he? I think he was.
Correct, but
Yeah.
that's not an MLS season game.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep.
So, on the back line, we had Glesnes, Bedoya, we had Harriel, and we had Westfield out left.
Mm-hmm.
We did have Lukic at center defensive midfield, but tied up with him was Bueno instead of Jean-Jacques. Indy and Quinn Sullivan were in the attacking midfield, and then Ora and Olowski were the two forwards. So, it wasn't a first choice defense. And I'll have to say, in both of these games, Glesnes is starting to show like he's not old, but he's it seems
Mm-hmm.
like some teams may have figured him out.
Yeah.
He was getting pulled out of position in both of
Yeah.
these.
Yeah,
So much
and
so that it's worrying. So like my 3 points for this one is it was just a really rough game. Bedoya
mm-hmm.
did not play as well as he recognizes he should have,
Yeah.
and Glesnes has been struggling for some reason. I don't know if it's how the team's supposed to be playing and what his roles are, but yeah, he just seemed to get out of position more than I expect for
Yeah.
Glesnes.
Yeah. I'm reminded watching Glesnes play, it reminds me when Ronaldinho, the Brazilian uh, striker guy,
Mhm.
played for Barcelona and all that. I remember towards the end of his career in Europe, he would play, as he was getting a little bit older, not as effective on the field. He played kind of angry. He wasn't just dancing on the ball like he could when he was younger. And then he went back to Brazil. He played for, I think, Corinthians, whatever. And maybe it was a change of scenery. Maybe it was maybe a slightly, well, definitely a different style of play. It just he was able to kind of start clicking again, and you could see he was smiling again when he was playing. And
Right.
I feel like it's shades of that with Glesnes because Glesnes was always just this kind of like this calm giant in the back, just locking down the defense. And now it's just like, these games, he's getting a little chippy. He's getting yellow cards. I think that's that frustration when you're not playing exactly at the same level maybe you were doing before. I'm not writing the guy off. He could absolutely come right back and be
Let's be
the
clear. I think
the
he
the
was
the, the,
defender
the
of the year last year or the
yeah,
year before. Like,
you know, yeah. We got to think of some way to like equate the defense as like a Norwegian fjord, right? The fjord can be back,
mhm.
we'll workshop it. But yeah, fully, he's, to reference Russell Crowe from Mystery Alaska. I'm not done yet, and I like to think, Glez says that he's not done yet, but
No.
he's kind of slumping or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Slumping, I think, is not a bad way
yeah,
to phrase it. And he's not
yeah,
alone, unfortunately, on the team
yeah.
as far as slumping goes. Because like, Quinn Sullivan's been quiet the last couple of
Mm.
games. We've already talked about Aura and Damiani over the course of the last few weeks. Even Baribo hasn't scored a whole
Baribo,
lot
absolutely, yeah,
recently.
yeah,
Orlovsky was a little shot in the offensive arm.
yeah.
Uh, uh,
But even that's
another
starting
one
to
that's
wane a little bit.
Another one's got me worried is Kai. Like Kai, I love that he plays with passion, but in both of these games and in a couple before the break, like he starts playing angry
He's playing
and
angry.
like more so than I think is warranted for the
Yep.
for the games. And
Yeah.
I think he's gotten some yellow cards for that, and it's worrying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 And I feel like Glesnes is adjacent to that. I don't think he's not the same anger level that
correct.
that Wagner's at, but he's kind
Correct.
of moving in that direction. Um, yeah. And maybe one more thing on this Vancouver game, then we can move forward. I was just so surprised that Vancouver got 7 unanswered goals against it. I never in my dreams would I
Yep.
thought that, I could see us like, all right, we're going to pull one or two back, maybe. We're not going to let this go unanswered. We'll have a response, and
It
it
just kept
just
getting
didn't
worse.
happen. Like I said, in our rec league we used to play in, yeah, we would lose like that. Like we would just be on the back foot the entire game. It was kind of like, the boxing analogy. You just had your hands in front of your face, just trying to make it to the end of the round and not die. And it just felt like that. It's just like I would have lost money, that a
Yep.
game like this would have happened to the Union this season.
Yeah. So
But hope
Mueller finishes his hat trick, and it's the single largest lopsided loss that the Union have ever suffered.
ever, ever.
And after that uplifting event, we go into Tuesday night
Yep.
again
Hope springs
away in
eternal.
what's that?
Hope springs eternal
That's right.
or
And
internal,
into
depending.
Nashville, the boys head. They do run out, the lineup that you would expect them to put up there, except obviously with Rick and goal instead of Blake.
So what's up with Blake? Do we know what's up with Blake?
I think it was. No, I don't know what's up with Blake. I'm not sure exactly what
No.
his timeline is for return to starting. Obviously, they're going to be very sensitive to it because they want to make sure he's fully healthy before the playoffs, and that's coming up
Hmm.
fast. Um, but talking about this Nashville game, like they gave up a hat trick to Mueller, and then they give up a hat trick to Sturridge on Tuesday. And like we were talking about with Glassness, like two of these goals. The first one, which was off the header, and the third one, which was the over the top into the box where he kind of
Yeah.
like
Who's on the run?
on the run, on the
Yeah.
volley, without it touching the ground. He makes an amazing play.
It was a
I
great
can't
goal.
remember what was the second goal.
Uh, Man, I put him on the spot.
Yeah, I don't
I was
remember.
already spiraling at this point. Yeah, it was just. I mean, I guess one thing we say is we kept Mokhtar from scoring, so there we go.
Mukhtar,
Um, Mokhtar, yeah, we kept him from scoring.
honey, honey. Yeah,
Um,
no, that first one, this was another situation where it's like I feel like Glesnes lost the mark. Um, it was Surge somehow or another ends up with like 2 yards, 3 yards of space on a ball into the box and just has almost as easy a header goal finish as a striker is ever going to see.
mhm.
Like I said, I don't remember the second goal, But that third goal was just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great cross. I kind of understand why Malcania moved away from him, as it looked like Malcania was trying to cut down the run of the player that made the cross. But nobody picked up Surge, and then that finish was surgical.
Yeah.
Without it hitting the ground, Surge just powers it or curves it into the top far corner. Rick had no chance at it, and it was a great finish. That was just a good striker
Yeah.
running on confidence, making a really nice goal.
Yeah.
Just frustrating. But the Union did get one back in this one. One
And
good thing about this one is that, Sullivan had that
yeah.
beautiful goal from
Yeah.
outside the box.
I think the second game was a little bit of redemption, at least for Sullivan, because I think
Yes.
he started showing that creativity, the boldness. It's kind of, he's talked about like Jack McGlynn, right? Just try something. And he was getting confident on the ball, but I mean it's one guy versus, the Nashville lineup. I'm surprised he even got the one goal, but it was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball out wide left and danced across the top of the box. I think he kept waiting for Nashville to challenge him, and when they didn't, he just picked his spot and a nice curving shot
Hmm.
to the far right side goalpost, and just beat the keeper. I mean, at that point, I think it was already 2-0, so it made it 2-1, and so there was a chance at something, and then Serge scores that third goal and ends it. Now this one didn't feel quite as, obviously the score's not as lopsided as well,
No,
but
no, no, no.
and the Union did seem to play a bit better.
Yeah.
But like I almost wanted to talk with I definitely wanted to get Christie's point of view about this, because I know in the chat between us, like Damiani, she's like utterly frustrated with
Let
Damiani and Aura as well.
You know what? Hold on. Let me go get her.
Just get a 30-second C rant, a crant.
Yeah, 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 a
We need a
Crant.
crant.
We need a Crant.
All right, here we
And we're
are.
back.
So we managed to free her from her carbonite, drag her out of bed,
You have
hop her up
hibernation
quickly,
sickness.
hop her up on some coffee or caffeine real fast. But I would love to experience what are your thoughts? Give me a good rant. Give me a C rant here on the striker core and what your
Particularly
feelings right now are.
particularly Damiani and Aura. And Paul, what did you call this though? You
I
had a
call
name
it the
for it.
crant,
The Crant.
a C
The
rant.
Christie rant, the C rant.
Way.
It's a Crant.
I like that, and that might become part of the
It
repertoire.
actually almost sounds like some sort of like obscenity.
I like it.
What a Crant.
Yeah. So
You had some really good points. But anyway, go
I
ahead.
have made a lot of jokes about Damiani and price per goal and all that kind of stuff this season, and I don't know if you already talked about the fact that we kind of came in late on the Open Cup game, and then
Oh no, we're gonna get to that.
You
We
didn't get
haven't
to
gotten
that?
around to the
Yeah.
Paramount
Okay,
Plus
well,
debacle
my-
that it was.
So I mean, we're not spoiling anything, as we often say, but I think between the mega loss that, by the way,
Mega loss.
the scoops turned off after it got to 5-0.
Yeah.
Because
Same. I'm
Yeah,
right there
smart.
with her.
Smart.
I get-
as she said, she was disgusted, so she turned it off. Yeah. So
fist bumped the scoop.
she had enough. So but yeah, between that, and you'll talk about it, but there was a stupid, lucky it wasn't a red card, lucky it didn't really hurt somebody, challenge from Damiani.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Early on, he got a yellow card. It turned out to not be that big a deal.
But it was studs up.
He was studs up. And something in me when I saw that broke. And I just thought, between, quite frankly, foolish things like that. I want to use a different word, but I'm going to say foolish.
You're trying to avoid the explicit warning.
And not even explicit. It's just I don't want to be like insulting, but like between that, the lack of scoring, the lack of just anything coming out of him except for once in a blue moon where you kind of feel like, it always kind of feels like maybe he got lucky or something, unless it's a penalty or some kind of really open free kick. I don't think he's worth it. I really don't. I think there's something missing there, and I just think I'm over him. I don't have any confidence that putting him in makes any bit of difference. I texted this to you guys, and I did put a caveat on it that I always feel guilty saying things like this as I sit at home on my couch having a snack and not playing a darn thing myself. But it's just there's nothing there. And then for Ura, bless him, and when he has his moments, he has his moments, but there's too few and far between for me to consider him to be anything special, at least with our team. He could maybe be on another team and be a rock star. I don't know that. Same with Damiani. But for Damiani, they're just Ura, I feel like he has ideas. I feel like he has things. I feel like maybe he just doesn't have like the support. Maybe it would be different if he had the support or some other players. Damiani, there's just no there for me. Like there's just no, I don't see ideas. I don't see anything. And like I said, when I saw that studs up kick, it wasn't that. It wasn't just that. And I mean that, but it was sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back. It just there was just something so foolish about it that it robbed me of any hope for the future.
I mean, it's kind of like I think you didn't actually say his exact words, but it's like you basically said, "I'm done."
Done.
With
No, I'm
Damiani.
done.
It's like
I'm done. I've joked and said, "Oh, bless him," I know it would, whatever. $1,000 a goal and but he's gonna get there. I don't think he's gonna get there. I don't think he's gonna get there with us. And I really don't. Or at least with this formation of our team.
Yeah.
And I just feel like obviously, I guess see out the season because what are you gonna do now? But
that transfer window is closed.
It's late days.
I'm just saying, Chris Donovan could always slip in there.
Honestly, I think
Drexel apologist.
I think I think there's an opportunity for that. But I think Chrissy, I like the one point you said, and that is, I mean, I'm sure there's some stat out there or some instance that will prove me wrong, but when has Damiani proven to be pivotal? Like I'm sure he's got a game winner in there somewhere, but like when Baribo comes out, it's like, oh boy, here we go. Something's going to happen.
Right.
Damiani comes out, it's like, oh boy, when's Chris Donovan going to get subbed in? It's like.
Or if something happens, it feels like just everything came together. All the points of luck aligned.
Yeah.
And it has very little to do with him other than the fact that he's an athletic man on a field with cleats on. Who knows which direction the goal is in.
Yeah. And
please see Blesness last season.
I would say I completely understand why you feel that way. I haven't quite gotten there myself.
Give it a week.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's see how the next game goes.
Exactly. I totally hear it. I think it's completely valid. I think you are not alone with that level of frustration. And I think there's many others that would be very happy to ship him off for a bag of soccer balls. I think that's totally, and again, as we texted amongst ourselves, we don't know the man himself. We're not judging any sort of character judgments on Damiani. He seems like he could be a very pleasant person. Everything, just as far as a player, I thought
on this team,
that phrasing of "I'm just done,"
I'm done.
Damiani was hysterical, and I wanted to hear your rant. And thank you for breaking out of your cocoon long enough to share that with us.
I might go wrap myself back up, but really quick before I do, I want to be clear. I'm not blaming him for either of these losses.
No,
not in any way.
That was a team effort.
This is like a side effect or a side.
He just didn't help it. He didn't help,
and
it
it just
painful.
it's another thing that happened
Yeah.
in addition to these two losses
Yeah.
that I just sort of and maybe that was part of my headspace too.
Do you
was
want
I
to be
was
around for
determined.
the Paramount Plus discussion real quick, or do you want to head off to your cocoon?
You mean the already canceled
We've already
Paramount?
canceled.
You mean the canceled while the post game was on?
I mean, that's the one silver lining. It's like, hey, at least we don't have to worry about that every month now. That's all for
Well, I mean, I never really. Well, I intended to keep it until we were
yeah.
done. Whenever, hopefully, that would have been longer. But yeah, I mean, I can stay for that.
So let's talk about that because I had the same experience with you guys as you guys. I knew I was going to be starting the game late. I was grateful that it was streaming. I was like, cool.
Right.
I'll be able to jump in. Whenever it's on, I'll jump in. And I'll just catch up from it. Live.
Yep.
I got on and I go to the game. It says watch now or something like that. I forget what it
Like start
was.
from
And I
the beginning.
expect like with Apple TV Plus, you can
Yeah.
either start from the beginning
Yep.
or jump in live. There was no option. There was no option. And I didn't have it as bad as you guys because I jumped in at the end of the first half.
Right.
Yep.
What time did you guys jump in on it?
71st minute.
Yeah.
71st minute. And it did say start from beginning, and I could have
Yeah.
sworn that I pressed it, but maybe it never moved. Yeah, like maybe it never scrolled.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. And so 71st minute. But I mean, and it was literally, I think, Quinn scored the goal, right?
Yeah, it was right.
So it was literally right, like as he was grabbing the ball back to keep going.
I remember just the announcers like, oh, breathe life back into the union. And I'm like, well, that's probably we're probably not winning then if I'm hearing that.
Yeah, yeah. So
But then they kept going on, and I don't know if it was at that point of the game, but like at halftime and before and after halftime, they just kept going on about that Damiani foul in the beginning. And I get where they were going. Yeah, it was studs up into the side of the guy's ankle, and yes, it went sideways a bit, but it was a yellow. That's what it was determined to be on the field.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plant foot. The guys didn't end up getting injured, but they just wouldn't let it go. And I don't know who their referee, pundit, their announcer, their commentator was at halftime, but they were terrible. They talked about this thing, and they were just totally like, yeah, that was the wrong call. It should have been a red card. As they were like expecting her to go on a little bit more about what, and they asked a couple of exactly.
Stretch it out.
Give us why
it
should be a red card. Give us, what did the referee see? What did they were going through? Oh, it was terrible.
What little I heard was colored by where like the score line. So, but just listening to it, I was struck. I mean, definitely it's not our normal commentators. I know we've complained about the Apple commentators, but I would have taken them in a hot second. I'm using that phrase right, but I would have taken that immediately over these guys because this was giving me shades of back in the day when they would show soccer on TV and they'd have to say, "This is a soccer ball," and in soccer, like this thing
the
happens.
halves are only 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was just, I don't know. It probably wasn't quite that bad, but it was definitely giving me that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I wasn't super thrilled with that. But yeah, there's so much else not to be thrilled with that it was probably fifth on the list.
I feel like JP Dellacamera needs to start a soccer commentators academy.
Yeah.
And just like start them in high school and be like, this is how you do it. Go get them through college. And, because he knows how to do it right. He knows how to have that partnership of announcers can turn the game into something more than it is. And,
I mean, Leno too, right?
Leno,
he does.
Yes.
Dave Leno.
Dave Leno does such a great job.
And JP could make a killing.
Yeah.
And they could get 12 men to come in and give a couple of
the color commentary
seminars.
Yeah.
Like that would be an amazing opportunity for young announcers to really understand how to bring this game to life.
Yeah.
Lawless is banned.
Lawless should be banned from, actual commentating.
Yeah.
Should be banned from a lot of things, but that's just my opinion. But I just like the picture of him like looking in the window. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Paramount Plus. Not sorry to cancel that.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, sorry for the reasoning. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, won't miss it. So.
All right.
All right. Well,
Thank you for joining
Thanks
us.
for joining us.
for
Yeah,
going for.
this has been your weekly Crant.
I'll be back for a full length Crant next
There we
week.
go.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
miss you. Thanks,
See ya.
C. All right, I think we've got enough out of these two games. We put more into it than the Union did, and
Yeah, right. I mean,
uh,
wow.
tough ones. Just a tough week. It's just sad too that it's the end of the Open Cup pursuit.
Yeah, I mean,
You're 2 wins from a tournament from a title.
yeah.
Would have been nice,
So it's
but
gonna be Nashville versus Austin. Part of me kind of wants Austin to win it. I mean,
I
guess
like both of those teams. In
yeah.
all honesty, I don't dislike Nashville.
No,
I'm
I
not a
don't
big
dislike them.
Mokhtar fan, I'll be honest. He's a little bit of a prima donna, but there's a lot of players on that team that are good, and it is BJ Callahan who is a a coach out of the Curtin coaching tree.
Oh God, that's right. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, and it's it should be a good game in Austin whenever it happens. Weather should be very cooperative for a good game of soccer, and
Yeah,
hopefully both teams show up. On all honesty, I probably won't watch it, but
yeah, yeah.
outside of that, Union news this week.
Yeah. Speaking of the coaching tree here.
Yeah. Well, just real quick, just sticking with the Union, there really wasn't any other, like there were some comments out of Bradley Carnell's post game press conferences, but I don't really feel like we need to get into those. But yeah, why don't we talk about the current rumor?
Yeah,
Since the Union are facing New England this weekend,
which
uh, the
of
current
course.
rumor is that New England is approaching Jim Curtin for take over their head coaching role.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird
Very weird.
feeling, right? It's kind of like no, like like you were our dad. You can't go be somebody else's dad. Um, yeah,
I mean, we all know it's only a matter of time
it
before he's
is.
going to end up somewhere.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's almost inevitable that it's going to be somewhere else in MLS. But
probably.
there is a
Yeah,
part of me that was like, man, I wish you would just go to
go to
another
Europe.
league first,
Yeah,
or at least a West Coast team. You know,
yeah. Go.
we're going to face this team a couple of times, including this Saturday. But yeah, currently New England is rumored to be courting Jim Curtin to become the next head coach now that they released their coach. And
I mean, St. Louis should pick this guy up, right? I mean, it's the total, Freaky Friday swaparoo. We get
yeah,
your coach, you
seriously.
take ours, and let's see what happens. We're in different, leagues or conferences, and
Or
uh,
yeah,
you know,
just it's it would be tough to see him repping the Revs. I mean,
yeah,
he's going to end up somewhere. It's not a bad program. I hope he gets more of the support that he wants wherever he ends up
yeah,
than he got here in Philly.
yeah.
You know,
I
I, I,
sus
I I definitely think Ernst came in with his own idea of what this team should be.
Yeah,
Curtin did what he could to make that happen.
hmm
Ended up not being what and looking back now with Carnell for this, almost a full season. Carnell obviously seems to have fit Ernst's plans a little bit
yeah,
better
yeah.
with only one season worth of notes. But yeah, it is going to be tough seeing Curtin coaching a team somewhere else in MLS.
I mean, at least it's not a New York team or
Oh
I'm
God,
trying to think like.
I didn't even think of that. If he had gone to New York or DC,
Yeah, I mean, I could almost handle DC because DC
DC
still
has
has
not
a
been
like a little bit of a Philly vibe, so I think it kind of works. But like,
Oh,
you
really?
know,
Because I was going to say DC just hasn't been that good for so long that.
well, I'm not going to argue on that one. I agree. But in the sense of like they are maybe because I always like Ben Olsen was such a scrappy coach,
Yeah,
and I think like
yeah.
because we even joked around saying like if who else would be at least personality wise a good fit with Philly? I'm like Ben Olsen. I could, you know, tactics, abilities, all that, sure, that's up for debate. But personality and style, like Ben Olsen would totally fit in.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so that rumor coming out today and this week is tough. I certainly hope they don't settle that tomorrow and then he ends up coaching the game on
that would be
Saturday.
too weird. I mean, I gotta imagine. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me's like, I could see Curtin going like, guys, I'll come in after you guys play the Union. I think it's, it's too soon. Flip side, I could see him like, yeah, I'll coach against the Union. you know,
Yeah,
um,
it's not like he could lose. It's not like, it would be a downside to him anyway, because I
eh,
mean, the Revs I don't know if I'm going to check the standings here real quick while we're talking, but um, yeah, New England has not yet been officially eliminated, but they're currently sitting in
yeah,
11th with 32 points.
yeah,
They are 10 points back of Chicago and they have 4 games left to play. So technically, if Chicago were to lose out and New England won all 4 of their remaining games, they could get into ninth place with 44 points.
yeah, yeah,
So they would have to win 3 and draw 1 in order to tie Chicago, and then it would come down to the whatever the tiebreakers are, which I think would still give Chicago the edge. So basically, New England needs to win all 4 of their remaining games to even have
yeah,
a
yeah,
chance
yeah.
at making the postseason. So it's not like if Curtin were to start this weekend, it's not like anybody would expect him
Oh
to actually
man,
make the postseason.
what are the chances? Not even chances, because somewhere there's a universe where Curtin signs on, takes control of the team. They win all the games they need to win. The other teams lose. They make it into the playoffs. They get in that last slot. They start winning in the playoffs. They make it to the conference final. They win the final. They go to the
No,
MLS Cup.
no,
And
there's no universe anywhere.
it's just like, and to be honest, like part of me would not feel totally 100% bad about that because it's Curtin. Like, I'm like, hey, I just wish he did with our team.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
So,
I would. Well, I didn't think the Union would lose 7-0 this season, but I guess that's kind of that's the nature of the beast. I don't know.
but yeah, so that's pretty much the only news this week. Amazingly, even with these 2 frustratingly bad losses,
Yeah,
Union are still top of the East,
actually,
still top of the Supporters Shield standings. They're at 1.9 points per game out of 30 games. They have 2 points. They're 2 points ahead of Cincinnati, 4 points ahead of Charlotte in the East, and San Diego currently has
we are.
56 points. So they were ahead. The Union are at 1 point ahead of Cincinnati, San
Yeah,
Diego, and 3 points ahead of Minnesota in the West for
yeah,
the Supporters Shield.
yeah.
So they're still in the driver's seat. If they were to win all 4 of their remaining
Yep.
games, which is not an impossibility,
You're 100%.
they could still, they still have that. They're still in the driver's seat to win the Supporters Shield.
Let's talk about that. Let's because last week we were talking about like every week we check one off. We have fewer pieces on the board. The
Yep.
calculus gets a little bit easier,
Yep.
right? So,
Union
um,
have 2 home games and 2 away games left.
yeah,
This weekend, they're home against New England at
yep,
1:30, uh, which is an early game for us on Saturday.
yep,
DC, they're in DC on the 27th, the following Saturday.
yeah. A week later,
And then they're home to New York City FC the following Saturday on the 4th. And then there's a break and they travel to Charlotte for the final games of the season
yeah,
on the 18th of October. So they're home away for their final four
yeah,
games. They've got New England, who is towards the bottom
yep,
they're barely hanging into an opportunity to get to the postseason. They're then away to DC, who has been eliminated.
yep,
Then they have New York City FC, who is in fifth place, so
uh-huh,
respectable.
hmm
And then they're against Charlotte, who is currently in third place in the
and
East.
locked
So
in for the playoffs.
their next 2 games are the easier matches. Their final 2 games are the more difficult matches. But yeah, I mean, there's there's a legitimate chance that the Union could win all 4 of those games and secure
Yeah.
this supporter shield.
Well, looking at those 4 data points in front of us, the New England and DC, right? We got to win it. Especially, I'll put it this way, we got to win this weekend, right? One, it's New England. They're kind of
Struggling.
they're struggling. They're down on their luck. I hate to use the phrase, but we got to kick them while they're down. We got to purge the past 8 days or 7 days, both getting knocked out of Open Cup and just that humiliation in Vancouver. We have to win to start, the comeback process here. Yeah.
And they should win this game. Like, this should be a game to get the offense rolling. If they work at it, New England, they should be able to get some goals. They should have an opportunity to get some good shots, make some good attacks. They should be able to carry that momentum in DC. Hopefully, then, if they do have a good momentum rolling, they come back to Philly to host New York City FC. They take it to New York City, and then it's into Charlotte for decision day.
Yeah.
If the Union were to win those 3 games between now and Charlotte, and San Diego drops a couple of points, Cincinnati drops a couple of points, maybe decision game day is not a decision day, and the Union get to rest some starters or play them at limited minutes. Doesn't matter at that point if they win. They're just prepping for the postseason.
Yeah.
That's certainly a possibility. It is
Yeah.
absolutely doable. And this team is good. I mean, I know we had the whole Crant and stuff like that, but it is doable. The Union do have firepower.
Yeah.
If Barreiro can get his scoring boots on, and if he can, season and bring Olaski and Damiani and Ora with him, there's a world out there where the Union put 3 and 4 goals up against New England and DC and roll it, take a 3-1, 2-0 victory over New York City FC and go battle it out for a 1-1 draw with their second team in Charlotte. That's certainly a possibility.
Yeah. It's very unlikely to happen that New England would sign a new coach, let alone if it's Curtin, before this weekend. And so I'm not too worried about this, but there's still a part of me that is slightly worried. Because the other thing about often what happens when a team signs a new coach, you get that new coach bump, right? That next game, it's like it's a statistical like reality that first game under a new coach, teams just tend to perform better. So especially if New England does not sign Jim Curtin or anybody else for that matter before this weekend, all the more reason I think we need to win this game.
Yep, I agree.
And then we'll focus on DC. But right now, yeah, just one game at a time. I'll say this: if we lose to New England at home, I don't know about you guys or anybody out there listening, I'm going to start to spiral. I'm going to I don't think we're going to MLS.
Well,
Cup.
at that point, it will be almost unavoidable that you're going to hear, well, this will happen to Carnell the first season with St. Louis. They wrapped up the West and then they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
First round against Kansas City. I still remember that. And it's yeah. So if we don't win this Saturday,
it will be all sorts of shades of St. Louis.
It will be alarms will be going off. Absolutely. It's not, it won't be exactly the same. And obviously it's not one and done and all that, blah, 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 blah. But after 2 rough losses, and now we are at home against the team. I mean, I'm repeating myself, but this team that by most metrics, we should be able to handle. So let's just get back to work and let's just do it. Let's get our Ali Bedoya going, right? Let's just get this done.
Yep. All right. I think that's about it for this week.
I know. I think like the title for this week is like, battle stations and and we got it. We're going to take it one game at a time. I mean, and again, maybe this is what we need, right? Because now nothing is certain. So now we're going to have to really just focus up and finish the season strong, and we're going to be that much better positioned for the playoffs. So we'll see.
Well, that's why I opened this episode the way I did, that hopefully these couple of pieces of bitter
There you go.
will make the sweet that's coming that much sweeter.
There you go. Yeah, just how much bitter do we need, though? That's the question.
No more. We don't need any more. All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you would like to, drop us a message, shoot a, check out, drop a comment, check out what's going on with us. You can find us at our webpage, amorephillyunion.com. Definitely feel free to send us any questions via email or on our socials, especially Instagram, and we'll be sure to include them in the pod. You can email us at pod@amorephillyunion.com. On Instagram, YouTube, Threads, in Bluesky, we are amorephillyunion. Definitely check out our Spotify playlist. Very eclectic. You can find it under amorephillyunion. I definitely want to take a look for our link tree and see if you can find us that way. If you do want some amorephillyunion swag, we check out our website. We have an online store. A couple of nice options there if you're interested. And
especially with hot cider season coming, you might want to get a nice little mug or something.
Absolutely. Download and subscribe our podcast wherever you get yours. And while you're at it, go show some love for one of our favorite forces for good in the world, the Philadelphia Union Foundation. Be sure to check them out at philadelphiaunionfoundation.org. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of More Philly Union. We're your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm E, and I'm sure C's here somewhere.
Go Union! Go Birds!
Well, let's do the lead in, and then Paul.
Go ahead. And don't chew while you do it.
Yeah. God, come on! Jeez.
Are you regretting?
Not in front of the
lead?
podcast. Come on. God, so embarrassing.